What's going on, guys? Today is Thursday, September 4th, I think. But these are books from the past 2 weeks. I don't remember the dates. Well, yesterday was the 3rd. I don't remember the date of last Wednesday. It'll be in the title. It doesn't matter. Anyway, NFL season starts tonight. Packers and the Seahawks. I'm wearing this shirt, but I'm not a Green Bay Packers fan. I am an Aaron Rodgers fan. I religiously draft him to my fantasy team every year. He is not my quarterback in the YCC Fantasy Football League, but he is my quarterback in one of my other leagues. So I'm going to be watching and hoping he puts up a bunch of points. But anyway, just had to clear that up. I have books from last week, a couple trades, and then new books from this week. Actually, quite a few. So we'll get started with the stuff from last week. The majority of this stack is stuff from last week. A few trades that I picked up. This is something that I've been thinking about getting into for a while now. This is Sweet Tooth, of course, written and drawn by Jeff Lemire. I'm a big fan of Jeff Lemire, especially when he does the artwork and the writing for a book. So super excited to get into this. I'm not entirely sure what the premise is, but I've heard good things, so excited about that. And then this is something super cool that I found, and I didn't even know that this had been collected in any sort of way. This is Dia de los Muertos. This is these are all stories when the artwork is done. The artwork is done by Riley Rosmo. They're all scripted by different people, and they're all sort of, the theme of all the stories is the Day of the Dead. So I'm a huge fan of Riley Rosmo's artwork. Let me try and find a good page. I'm a huge fan of Riley Rosmo's artwork, especially his work on Bedlam. I think he did a book called Curse or The Curse, and whenever that comes out in trade, I'm going to be picking that up for sure. But I didn't even know that this was collected in trade, and I'm really excited to check this out. As far as the writers go, some ones that I recognize quickly: Ed Brisson, and also Joshua Williamson, who's writing some really awesome books right now. So pumped about that. I picked those up last week, and I haven't read either of them. I haven't read most of these books, actually. With Labor Day weekend and everything, I'm a little behind. But anyway, Baltimore, The Witch of Haru, number 2 of 3. The first issue of this seems like it's not going to deal a whole lot with the overarching story of Baltimore, which is a little disappointing. But I don't know yet, because this is only issue 1 of... That was issue 1 of 3. We'll see what the second issue is all about. And yeah, Baltimore's always an awesome book. If you're looking to jump in, issue 1 of this miniseries would be a good spot, or pick up the trades. Can't suggest that one enough. Next, and these are in no order. This is just whatever was in the stack. Next, this is Low, number 2. Written by Rick Remender, art by Greg Ticini. I liked the first issue. I wouldn't say that I love it. I love Black Science, so I'm going to be comparing the two. But we'll see if the second issue is better. I'm not as much of a fan of Greg Ticini's artwork compared to Matteo Scalera and Dean White on Black Science. Painted colors in this as well, but it's a lot more muddled than the artwork you see in Black Science, and I think that makes it a little hard to follow. Some people might be into it, but we'll see. I mean, I'm sure Rick Remender is going to do great things with the story. It's just going to take a couple issues to reel me in. Next, this is Outcast, number 3, written by Robert Kirkman. This has been a pretty good book, actually. Better than I expected it to be. It says on the top there, "I remember when she loved me." That makes me believe that we're going to be getting some backstory about our main character and his past relationship. I'm a sucker for orange covers, so I'm all about that. Excited to get into that one. Justice League Dark, number 34. Disappointing that Mikel Janin is no longer on this book, but this Dead Man story I'm really excited for. So if this was a book that you dropped around when Blight was coming out, I dropped it as well. I would suggest checking it out starting at issue 30, because it's been good. I like Zatanna sort of as the centerpiece of the team as opposed to Constantine, so I'm automatically going to like it for that reason. Next, speaking of Black Science, this is Black Science number 8. I'm super interested to see how this book is going to continue to develop now that our main character from the first arc is sort of out of the picture. I'm assuming he's going to come back in some capacity or some version of him. You know what I'm talking about if you're reading the book, but It's interesting to see the other characters sort of grow into more main roles in this book. This is a top-notch book, top-notch sci-fi story, writing, artwork, colors, everything about this book is amazing. My favorite book on my pull list right now, hands down. Books falling over. Next, I think the last two from last week are a couple number ones. This is Wayward #1, written by Jim Zub, I think. This cover is just terrible. It's the only one that was left at the shop. I got hooked because of the Buffy line in the previews, and for that reason I decided to check it out. The interior artwork is sort of anime-inspired with a lot of like neon colors, blues and pinks from what I saw flipping through. So I'm interested to get into this. It sounds sort of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer in Japan. Comparing it to Buffy is a good thing because it got me to pick it up, but it's also a really bad thing because it sets my expectations super high because I love Buffy. And then finally, this is Sundowners #1, written by Tim Seeley, art by Jim Terry. From what I understand, this book is a superhero book, but sort of has a darker twist, some darker tones to it, so I'm super pumped to get into this. I love Tim Seeley's work on Revival. Don't think I've read anything else by Tim Seeley besides the whatever scripting work he did on Batman Eternal, but anyway, excited to get into that. Dark Horse, I like supporting Dark Horse outside of the normal Hellboy books and stuff that I get, so I'm excited for a new #1 that I could jump on. Okay, and then the last, I think, got 5 new books from this week, starting with the Marvel book. This is Uncanny X-Men #25. This should wrap up the last Will and Testament of Charles Xavier, which I've been pretty interested in. This book is not as good as All New X-Men, but I still think it's worth reading. Some of my favorite characters, well, my favorite female X-Men character, maybe tied with Psylocke, is Magik, and she plays a prominent role in this book. So, I mean, and Chris Bachalo's artwork is fantastic. So, I'm looking forward to the Uncanny X-Men annual that Andrea Sorrentino is going to be doing art on. I'm not sure when that comes out, but I'm going to be all over that. Next, a couple independent books. This is The Woods #5. The first trade came out this week, so pick that up. This book has been fantastic from the start. Michael Dionis' artwork is something that I really, really enjoy. I still need to pick up one more issue of Amala's Blade, and then I'm going to read that, but this book has been, it's been great. It centers on, there's 2 different sort of groups going on in the book now. A group back at the school so people are sort of vying for power and interesting things are going on, some interactions between the characters there. And then we have a separate group of students who are out in the forest coming across all sorts of crazy things. So definitely check out the trade. I think it was $9.99. Next time I order from InStock, I'm going to be double dipping on that book. And then we have Nailbiter #5. We were left on a crazy cliffhanger at the end of #4. Sort of the motivation that has been driving our main character since the book started was that our questions were sort of kind of answered a little bit, and I'm interested to see sort of the reasons for all that happening. But Nailbiter's been an awesome book. Joshua Williamson doing a good job on this as well as Ghosted right now. One of my favorite writers currently. And then we have a couple 3D DC books, and I'm going to try and show you the lenticular covers as best I can. This is Future's End Green Arrow. This is technically the last issue of Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino's Green Arrow run. If they weren't on this book, I would not have picked it up, but because I enjoyed their run so much, I decided to. We'll see what the quality is like in these, because the Villains Month issues were pretty shitty last year. The Swamp Thing one was the only one that I loved. The Count Vertigo one was okay, so we'll see. I mean, this 3D cover has sort of the tombstone that says, "Here lies Oliver Queen," and then you have him in the background on sort of the switch there. And then, of course, this is Future's End Swamp Thing. Like I said, the Swamp Thing Villains Month issue, the Arcane issue, was my favorite Villains Month issue by far last year, so I'm really excited to get into this one. You can see on the 3D cover that there is sort of an avatar that is like metal, avatar of machines, which I think is kind of stupid because it opens a giant can of worms for having avatars of all sorts of inanimate objects. I I don't know what Charles Soule is planning to do with this. We have a fungus avatar now. There's an avatar of the rot. There's an avatar of the red. There's an avatar now of this machinery avatar. So I'm hoping that this doesn't go down a road where Swamp Thing is just fighting different types of avatars left and right. But we'll see. I'm gonna reserve my judgment on Charles Soule's Swamp Thing run as a whole, and I'm going to save my comments on him signing with Marvel until his Swamp Thing run is done. I think in March it ends, and then I'll do a video talking about my thoughts about the run as a whole, and also my thoughts on him signing an exclusive deal with Marvel. I'm not very happy about that, but anyway, I'm excited to read this, and I'm excited to read the wrap up of Charles Soule's Swamp Thing run, because for the most part it's been fantastic. So that's all that I have for this week. I think moving forward, like I said the last time I made a video, videos should be weekly because I'll be at the shop every week. Just last week with work and school and Labor Day weekend, everything was sort of super hectic. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll talk to you again soon.